It seems I may have underestimated you, Chris.
Save it, Wesker. There's no one left to help you now.
I don't need anyone else. I have Ouroboros. In less than 5 minutes, we'll reach the optimal altitude for missile deployment. Ouroboros will be released into the atmosphere, ensuring complete global saturation.
This is my favorite scene from Resident Evil 5, and in this video, I will be explaining why Resident Evil 5 is my personal favorite out of the entire Resident Evil franchise. Now, I know that some people may not like Resident Evil 5 as compared to its predecessor, RE4, but the game still holds a very dear place in my heart because in technicality, it is my first Resident Evil game. But in reality, my first one was Resident Evil Revelations 2 for the first episode. It sucked. I did not like it at all. Besides that, for the table of contents for this video, what I will be going over is the gameplay, the characters of the story, the differences between Resident Evil 4 and 5, a somewhat crappy telling of the story, or summary of it, and things that I like about the game, and things that I don't like about a game. And a little conclusion at the end, a little bonus conclusion at the end. Besides that, hope you all sit back and enjoy this video. There's a lot of love that I'm pouring into this. And on to our first section of the video, the gameplay of Resident Evil 5. Now, there really isn't much to talk about the gameplay for RE5, and there's nothing special about it all. This is probably going to be the shortest section of the video, but how the game plays, it's a little more shooty bang bang action and a little less horror as compared to its predecessor, RE4, which has the perfectly balanced, as all things should be, horror and action. But I still think that RE5 does it pretty good. I enjoy it. How the gameplay goes is when you're aiming, you have to stand still, as well your sensitivity on your mouse is multiplied by 50 million, and you move at Mach 10 while standing still. And a little difference between playing M&K and playing with a controller is that when you're at M&K, you have a little reticle, but when you're playing with controller, you have a laser sight. I don't know why there's a difference. Don't ask me. I'm not Capcom. There are also QTEs. They've came back from RE4. There's QTEs for both Sheva and Chris, where Sheva can impale a zombie in the head, and Chris can curb stomp a zombie in the head. There's QTEs for when you're getting grabbed by a zombie, wait to break free. There's QTEs for your partner to help you when you're getting grabbed by a zombie. There's QTEs to do things for the bosses in the game. There's even fucking QTEs during the cutscenes. And all of these QTEs I hold dear in my heart. I love them. I think they're stupid in a good way, and that they're fucking awesome. And yes, I know that the younger brother, Resident Evil 6, has a lot of QTEs. We're going to get into that game in another video, but not today. Let me beat the game first with my friend, and then I will finally do RE6. But there really isn't much, again, to talk about the gameplay. That's kind of all it is some QTEs here and there, shoot bang bang, this is strictly guys gonna fight, all that stuff. The gameplay for the game is basically just RE4, but instead you're in Africa. Besides that, that was a section on the gameplay, and now to the next section, which is about the characters of RE5. So, the characters of RE5, the section's probably going to be, again, maybe a little short. I'll try to make it as long as I can, but there really isn't that much to talk about for the characters. I'm going to split this in half between the returning cast and the newbies. And I'm going to go over the returning cast, obviously, first, because they're better. So to start off, we have Chris Redfield. He is one of the game's main protagonists. Another returning character is obviously Jill Valentine. She shows up later as she's being brainwashed by Wesker, and also Wesker's back, fucking probably in his best performance ever in my opinion. Looking sexy as always. I fucking love Wesker in this game. And another returning character is Oswald E. Spencer. Alright, you know the bloke, we go to his mansion in the first game, and that's all I remember, because I've played majority of the first game and never beat it. But he's in it in mainly flashback sections, and in the little DLC, if you got the gold edition, or if you paid for the DLC at the time. Lost in Nightmares. Good DLC, I gotta say. I haven't played it yet, but from what I saw, looks pretty chill. Obviously, we all know who Chris Redfield is. He's the guy, main character. He's beefed up. He's caked up in this game. You can swim in his fucking veins. We all know who Jill Valentine is, okay? The fine shite from RE3 and RE1, alright? She's fine in this game. She looks very nice. And, you know, Oswald E. Spencer. That's the guy. He's the one who started it all. Until RE8 came out. And this is the story that I don't mind. I'm fine with it. You know, Spencer, he's the guy. He's that guy, pal. He's that guy, pal. Wesker, the sexy man himself. He is one of the main three. Well, actually, no, the main antagonist of the story. With alongside, he has, in a way, three, but two minor antagonists of the story. And obviously, he was in Resident Evil 1. He was with Star's team. He was in, I think, a rail shooter game where he came back to life. That's how he's alive. He was in Code Veronica. And then he was also in the greatest Resident Evil game of all time, RE4, in Ada's side thing. And he's in RE5, and he's, like, possibly, in my opinion, the best performance of Wesker that we ever had. He looks amazing. I love his design. And his, like, super mutated Omega Boss final form is fucking cool, too. And now, onto the new characters that I think are still pretty chill. Maybe, like, one of them's only good. Actually, no, two of them's good. So, for our second main protagonist of the game is Sheva Alomar? I don't know how to say her last name. But she is the second protagonist of the game. She pairs up with Chris Redfield. In a way, kind of a parallel to Jill. Sort of. Kind of. She's British, alright? I like her. She's chill. She's nice looking, okay? She's nice. Then you have Joss Stone. My boy himself. Martin Sugar 2K in the flesh. I love Josh. He's chill. He saves us when we're in a pinch. In the biker gang part. He's pretty chill. Then we have Ricardo Irving. This game's, Ramon Salazar. This game's Ramon Salazar. You know, the little bitch, the little fucking annoying character that, oh, I'm actually going to mutate into a squid. And now it's Sea of Thieves time. He's okay. He's annoying. I'm not a big fan of him in the game. Obviously, because, you know, he's annoying and he's going to fucking, hey. I think he's got the Jersey accent, maybe? I think he has an accent for Jersey. I don't know. I'm not thinking with accents, but he's alright. I like his mutated form, obviously, because it's fucking cool looking, and Sea of Thieves, too. Another one is the guy you see at the beginning of the game, and he has a name, Reynard Fisher. I don't know if you hear his name in-game, but this is what the website's telling me. Reynard Fisher, he's chill, he's kind of just there to say, hey, here's your stuff, go kill bad guys. And he gets, like, slimed out, in the next few cutscenes, too. And now, for the final antagonist of the game, the fine wine bitch herself, Excella. God damn. Holy shit, dude. On display, I gotta say. She's okay as a character. You know, she wants to get it up. She wants to knock boots with Wesker. Yeah, that's good. But Wesker's like, no. I like Chris. Excella as a character, again, she's fine. I really don't know what she tries to parallel in this, because, you know, I guess she maybe she's just kind of like evil Ada Wong, maybe? Ada Wong, but if she was Russian, I think? I have no idea where she's from, bro. At all. Excella Gion. She's a character, she's like, hey, yo, here's Ouroboros. Here's this. Yo, let's chill, brother. And then she gets turned into giant, squiggly Ouroboros boss that you fight with a orbital fucking strike. Those are the characters. I'd say, honestly, the returning cast is a lot stronger than the newbies, because obviously everyone loves the returning cast, and I'm part of that party too. The new characters, they're good, but they have their faults. I say the best one out of all the new characters is obviously Sheva. She's just, in my opinion, the more fleshed out of them. Beneath that is Josh, but he's kind of like just tactical soldier coming in, hey, we're here to save the day, we're going to save these people from being infected, and we're going to stop bioterrorism. That's kind of all I see in this character. Irving, he's just your typical fucking asshole, okay? Jersey asshole, that's all he is. Ramon Salazar wannabe, and Excella, this is just gooner bait. That's all it is, bro. Just the way it is, you're like, I'm just the messenger in all this, okay? And Fisher, he's just that guy, pal. He's just that guy, pal. But besides that, that is all of the characters in RE5 that have names, I think. If I'm wrong, if I missed a character, please correct me in the comments. And on to our next section, the differences between RE4 and RE5. Now, for this section, I'm going to also be adding in the similarities between RE5 and 4, and I will be doing the original RE4, excuse me, than the remake, because the remake is... There's differences between the remake and the original RE4 that I feel like it would be unfair if I did the remake compared to RE5. Now, the biggest similarity between 4 and 5 is obviously the gameplay. The gameplay is pretty similar to RE4, how it's over the shoulder, you aim and you stand still, you can reload while you're aiming, etc, etc. Then you have the enemies, which in a way they're copy and paste, but there is a little bit of a lore reason. I'll probably put it up right here on the screen, to where Chris says these people are similar to the Ganados in the Kennedy Report.
We'll analyze the data immediately.
This whole town's gone to hell. The people here, they're acting like those Ganado detailed in the Kennedy Report.
And you also have the mutations between the Magini and the Ganados, which they're very similar, but there are different. The similarities is obviously the stringy head. You see him in the little town part of RE5. That's just in a way ripped from 4, but this time it's bigger and it does a lot more damage and it's hard to kill. Now the difference is you have the little bat things that come out of the enemies. You also have the weird crab-like dudes with the big mouth and the body part thingy that's out of their, it's like a tail that you shoot. Them as well, they're pretty chill. That's a difference as well. There are also these really large Magini enemies that you see in the swamplands, which obviously they weren't in original RE4, so that's a different thing. Another similarity is obviously the kind of progression that you have with the enemies, where you start off with a village type people, where you have the village Ganados from RE4, and you also have the sort of villagers or just regular townspeople of RE5, how they use rural weapons to fight you, And then you move on to the swamplands, which those enemies are basically the zealots from the castle area. And lo and behold, the final boss of the swamplands is Irving. And Irving is basically RE5's Salazar, where not only he is a small little prick, he also mutates into a big enemy that you fight. It's like some kind of like squid enemy and whatnot, and it's pretty cool. I like the boss fight. Some other differences between 4 and 5 is obviously the big bad of the game. The big bad of RE4 is Los Illuminados. It's a cult-like thing. They use Los Plagas. And the different thing in RE5 is that you're fighting Wesker and his band of misfits, and he has Ouroboros. And I don't understand Ouroboros a bit. Is it a strain of Los Plagas? I know in the remake they do kind of have a better explanation for it, but I don't really know how Ouroboros works in the lore. I may be stupid, I don't know. Some more similarities. You have your QTEs, they return. Your QTEs to deal massive damage, your QTEs to kill people. One of the biggest, or I wouldn't say one of the biggest similarities, one of the most blatant copies for 5 is the El Gigante you fight. Why did we need that boss fight? What purpose does he bring to RE5's story? Why is he here? Bro, think he part of the team or something? Doesn't make any sense. I don't understand his lore reason at all. It's just, why is bro here? Treasures as well. That's the thing that's brought over from 4 to 5. I like treasures in 5, I think they're a little more cooler than 4, except for the treasures that you can combine in 4. I think you're able to do that in OGRE 4. I really have only played about, at most, 2 hours of RE4 on my PS4. Another similarity is obviously the bug enemy for 4 and 5, but the bug enemy in 5 looks more like a cockroach and is a bitch to kill. No similarity / difference is the U3. There is a U3 in RE5, but it's the U5. And instead of being some random odd dude with a like scorpion tail on his back, it is a big crab that you fight. And like, bro, I don't understand why bro's there, but you know, he was late to the party, but he was still the life of it. Such a stupid boss, but I love how stupid it is. And I think the final similarity / difference, you could say, is the merchant for 5. There is a merchant for RE5, but it doesn't act like the merchant from RE5. Or, I mean, excuse me, the merchant from RE4. The merchant from RE4, you have to go find him. You can sell stuff to him, you can buy stuff from him, but it's up to you when you need to go find him and you want to sell stuff to him. The thing about the merchant RE5 is that it's not really a merchant, it is the end of chapter screen. After you're done with that, you then go to this page where you're able to buy stuff, sell stuff, sell your treasures, etc., etc. It's kind of weird why they did that. I don't know why they didn't add an actual merchant to RE5, but it doesn't really bother me. Like, I'm still happy that we have a merchant in 5, but who knows it all? Who knows it all? And that is all that I can think of for differences and similarities between RE4 and 5. If I missed any, please let me know in the comments down below. I need the engagement. But this has been the differences of RE5, or differences and similarities of RE5 and 4. Now on to our next section, the summary of all time for Resident Evil 5.
Oh!
Yo, listen.
I'm new, bro. I'm new.
Play with my nipples the right fucking way.
Who is God?
Alright, so for this summary of RE5, I'm gonna try to keep it as simple as I can make, because there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the game, and there's a lot of stuff that I still don't remember, even though I played the game like a few weeks ago with my friend. But starts off with Chris Redfield heading into Africa, and he meets up with this person called Sheva. They are going to go investigate some bioterrorist stuff, you know, the usual. Then shit goes down after you meet this random dude. The whole town is infected with Ouroboros. Like, oh, this is bad, brother. You then scrounge around the whole area. You see some new mutations. Excuse me. You meet up with this guy called, I think Josh, maybe? He's pretty chill. He has his own squad. You meet up with him, and you kind of fuck around with him a little bit. He brings you, like, some stuff, like, yo, this is information. That's it. Then you kind of dilly-dally around more parts of the village area, and you get to the little mining area. Like, oh, yo, it's Irving, bro. It's good, dude. And this is one of the guys that they were looking for. Then you see this little crow-looking lady. She's important later in the story. Then you go down this cliff area, and you find this big old bat dude. Alright, you kill him. He's not so cool, and whatnot. Then you get into the back of this Jeep with this guy. You drive down this little road. The little long road. Fuck me. And then you fight this big guy. You find out you go to the swamps, and then you're in the swamps for a bit. You find out more lore. Then you finally get to this little cave area, which, oh, what's this? It's a flower. Oh, it's the progenitor flower that Spencer talked about all along. And, oh, wait, I remember Jill. Man, she died when her and I were fighting Wesker back in Spencer's place. And Lamau, she's dead. But, oh, wait. But could she possibly be here? Who knows? And then we go in this big, huge room with like a bunch of like clones and whatnot. You fight a crab, and then oh wait, Jill's not here. Okay, let's walk this other area, and then you finally have your sort of long fight with Wesker. Like, oh, surprise, Jill's actually alive, and I'm mind controlling her, and that's why she's blonde. You fight Wesker. He lasts only for some minutes. Then you fight Jill. You then take the little thingy off her chest. It's like, oh yeah, I'm sorry for trying to slime y'all out. Like, oh, it's alright, good. It's all good, G. Yeah, you know, cut. Then you go after Wesker. Go to this big old boat. You meet Excella, who's hot. But then Excella has some bad indigestion, and you kill her, and she's like all like this big old like legally guy. You orbital strike her, and then you go farther down to the boat. You find Wesker, you fight him again with rocket launchers and whatnot, and you inject him with something 67 something. Yes, it has those two numbers in it. And then you get into a plane. Wesker's like, yo, I don't need anyone's help. I got my motherfucking stuff, bro. And flashback, oh no, I'm gonna lose my partner. No, not again. And then you save her, like, bye-bye, Wesker. Bye-bye, Pop-Pop. Bye-bye, Grandpa. You then crash land in a volcano. Wesker's there like, yo, we're just getting started. And then he punches a hole into a missile. He gets all worms all over him. You fight him. Chris punches a boulder. As while Sheva is fighting for her life to not die. And then you fight Wesker again. You stab him in his little heart. You get saved by Josh and Jill in a helicopter. And then you fire a rocket launcher with Sheva at Wesker, and Wesker dies. And they live happily ever after, and they fly into the sunset. That is my very shitty summary of the story of RE5. If you want a better explanation of the story, I will link a video in the description of a way better summary than what I have. But besides that, on to the next section, which is the things that I like and dislike about Resident Evil 5. Now, I'm going to keep this section a little short and simple. Mainly the things that I like about this game overall are just, well, the reason why I made this video is I like the story, I love the characters of the game, I love the co-op, I love some of the stupidness of the co-op as well, with the QTEs, and you being able to kind of like fuck with your friend, like throwing a grenade or flashbang and whatnot. And I also love like the progression of the story. I love the weapons, the gunplay, the action. I just love it all with my heart. But I think a few of the things that I dislike about it, one of the biggest things is the El Gigante fight. I don't know why we had that. I understand that we had an El Gigante fight in what was it, in 4, but I don't know why we had to have it in 5. It kind of makes no sense at all. And another thing I particularly dislike is some of the I dislike some of the end sections of the game, particularly like the very last part where you have to go through these sort of hallways to get to the the big ship at the end. I'm not a big fan of that area. I kind of wish it was a little more fleshed out, because it feels too spammy, in my opinion. And also, some parts of the ship kind of feel like, why did we really need that? It doesn't really make any sense. And I do wish we had more mutations for the Magini, to have a little more variety and a little more difference between RE4 and RE5. But overall, those are mainly the things that I like and dislike about the game. Again, I want to keep it short and sweet because overall, there aren't a lot of things I don't like about it. When we get to RE6, this section will be a lot longer. But besides that, now on to the conclusion of Resident Evil 5's video. Now, the conclusion, what I have to say about this video, why I made it. I wanted to make it because I love Resident Evil 5. It's my favorite of the entire series. It's the first one I fully completed. And yeah, I just wanted to say I hope you all enjoy this video. I really put a good bit of time into it. I know this is kind of maybe one of my shorter retrospective styled videos, but they don't all have to be an hour fucking long. But you saw this as a little bonus, right? A little bonus I did. I interviewed one of my friends who, funny enough, was the person who played with me for my Resident Evil 5 playthrough. He was Chris and I was Sheva, and I was using the club outfit for Sheva. And I interviewed him. I did 3 questions. What do you like about RE5? What do you dislike about RE5? And if you were to change one thing about Resident Evil 5, what would that be? And anyways, here is the interview. So, it's 3 questions. It's simple, easy. If you can't answer a question, I'll read the next question.
Okay.
Okay. So, the first question is, what are things that you like about Resident Evil 5?
I like the characters. Hold on a minute. I just swallow. So I like the characters, and no, I some things I really like. Okay, the combat, the guns, and the characters I really like. I would say that.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything else you like about the game? Nothing about like the story?
No, I really like this. I really like the story. I wish it were more scary, but you can't really have everything because, you know, what Resident Evil is like a delicate balance of action and horror. I'm not an expert, but I would have liked RE5 to be a bit scarier.
Okay.
I liked the enemies though.
Okay. Next question. What are things that you dislike about Resident Evil 5?
The length, bro. It took so short to beat it. Yeah, like it wasn't that long. And the game is only like 8 gigs, you know, so it's just an incredibly small game. I wish it were bigger. Yeah.
Final question. If you were
Yo.
to change one thing about Resident Evil 5, what would it be?
Well, other than make it longer, I guess I don't really know. I can't really. I don't. There's nothing I really want to change about the story because it like makes sense to me. No, yeah, no. That's pretty much it. Just make it longer, really.
Just make it longer, just add like maybe like another section or two, add a runtime, maybe add like
Maybe
another
like
boss.
maybe multiple endings would be cool.
Okay. All right. I see that. All right. Well, I thank you, Trist, for that. Where can these lovely people that are 100% going to watch this video all the way through find you at?
You can follow me on Twitch and subscribe to me on YouTube. I'm TristTube on all platforms. TristTube on YouTube, TristTube Live on Twitch, and probably the link in the description below.
With that interview being over and all of that being said, I hope, again, that you all enjoyed this video. It really means the world to me if you all did enjoy it. I try to put as much love and care as I do into all my videos. And to get all the stupid YouTuber stuff out of the way, I have a Twitch, if you want to follow that. I stream on Wednesdays and the weekends at 7 p.m. CST. I also have a Discord, if you want to join it, you don't have to. And besides all that, this has been CheeseWheezy372 saying get out America, and I'm going to catch you all in the next one. Goodbye.